Queen Camilla, once welcomed into the heart of the monarchy, is now in tears as Prince William takes decisive action to remove her royal status. In a shocking turn of events, the future king draws a bold line. And the proof? A hidden promise from Princess Diana changes everything. William's silent strike, the removal no one saw coming. In a move that no one inside Buckingham Palace saw coming, Prince William made the boldest royal decision of his life, and he did it without warning. Sources say it happened over the course of just a single week, behind sealed palace doors, with no press leaks, no discussions with the public, and not even a formal announcement from the Royal Communications Office. Camilla's key ceremonial roles, the same ones that once marked her official acceptance into the firm, were quietly stripped from her by William himself. The process was so calculated that palace aides are calling it surgical, precise, cold, and shockingly fast. And while William never publicly labeled it as punishment, he reportedly called it a return to honor. Insiders believe that was his way of saying this was never supposed to be hers in the first place. This decision wasn't just about shaking protocol. It sent an earthquake through royal tradition. According to senior aides, William didn't act alone. Princess Anne and Prince Edward, usually quiet pillars in the royal machine, were said to be fully supportive of the move. One source quoted Anne saying, "We've waited long enough for the right thing to be done." What makes this even more shocking is that nothing like this has happened inside the royal family in over 40 years. Not since the fallout of the 1981 marriage between Charles and Diana. William's action has cracked open a fault line in the palace that's been quietly growing for decades. And while the public only learned about it after the dust had already begun to settle, one thing is crystal clear now. William isn't waiting for the crown. He's already acting like a king. But as William asserted power, the reaction behind palace doors was anything but composed. In fact, what happened next was heartbreaking. "She never saw it coming," one aide whispered, and the weight of those words would soon echo through Clarence House. Camilla, in crisis. Her breakdown behind palace walls. The morning after William's quiet coup, Queen Camilla was reportedly in tears. Not just stunned, but utterly broken. According to a longtime staffer inside Clarence House, Camilla was so shaken she didn't leave her private suite for nearly 24 hours. For a woman who had spent nearly 20 years rebuilding her public image, it felt like everything was crumbling overnight. One aide, speaking under strict anonymity, said, "She thought the worst was behind her. She thought the family had finally moved on. But this shattered her." Camilla had fought relentlessly since the early 2000s for her place beside Charles. From being branded the other woman to walking beside the king at Queen Elizabeth's funeral in 2022, she believed she had weathered the storm. But now, stripped of her ceremonial honors, she feels like she's being erased from the history books once again. The emotional toll on her personal life is said to be massive. Palace insiders revealed that Camilla and King Charles had one of their most intense arguments in over a decade the night after the news broke. Raised voices, slammed doors. It was the kind of scene rarely witnessed even in a royal household. Camilla allegedly told Charles she would step away from public life altogether if the attacks continued. "I stood by you through everything. I won't stand here and be torn down again," she reportedly told him. Even her inner circle, the small group of aides and friends who stood by her since the early 90s, were said to be deeply concerned. "She's not just hurt," one royal staffer confided. "She's starting to feel betrayed. And worse, irrelevant." This wasn't just a ceremonial hit. It was a personal blow. A message. And Camilla heard it loud and clear. But what drove William to such a bold and emotionally charged move? The answer may lie in letters long buried in royal archives. Letters written decades ago by a woman whose memory has never faded. Her name, Princess Diana, and her final words may have changed everything. Diana's letters, the promise that haunts the present. Hidden for more than 25 years, a set of personal letters between Princess Diana and Queen Elizabeth II has reportedly surfaced, and insiders believe these letters are what pushed Prince William over the edge. Locked away in the royal archives at Windsor Castle, the correspondence is described as heartbreaking and impossible to ignore. According to multiple palace sources, Diana's words were a plea, not a complaint. She begged the late queen to ensure that Camilla Parker Bowles would never be queen in title or in spirit. One of the most quoted lines from the letters reportedly reads, "She cannot replace what was lost." Please, not her. Even more shocking, the queen allegedly wrote back, not with vague reassurance, but with an agreement. Insiders claim she promised Diana that Camilla would never wear the crown left behind in her shadow. If these letters are authentic, it would mean the monarchy knowingly broke a private promise made to a princess who died in 1997. Palace whispers say William read the letters earlier this year, possibly during a private visit to the archives in March 2024. Some aides have even called it his final permission, a moral green light from his mother and grandmother to act. One close friend reportedly told the press, when he saw Diana's words, he wasn't angry. He was resolute. This was about honor. This revelation recasts William's decision in a completely different light. What once looked like a bold power play now feels like a son carrying out a promise. Decades in the making. And with those letters out, Camilla's position is no longer just weakened. It's under siege. But William is not standing alone in this act. A new and unexpected force has quietly rallied around him, bringing a level of royal unity unseen in decades. The Anne-Edward Pact, the silent royals who finally spoke. For years, Princess Anne and Prince Edward have been the monarchy's quiet anchors, steady, dutiful, and never hungry for headlines. But behind the scenes of William's shocking move, these two royals have emerged as his strongest allies. According to palace insiders, Anne was the first to break the silence. She reportedly approached William during a private family gathering at Sandringham in late 2023, telling him bluntly, "Do it for your mother." Anne, who shared a discreet bond with Princess Diana, has long harbored private doubts about Camilla's place in the monarchy, but never voiced them publicly until now. Prince Edward, the youngest sibling, didn't hesitate to back William either. Together, Anne and Edward formed a rare united front, effectively giving William the institutional cover he needed to make his move. They are not rebels, one senior courtier explained. They are restorers. This is about protecting Queen Elizabeth's legacy. This alliance signals a profound shift inside the firm. For decades, the siblings have supported King Charles quietly, focusing on duty over drama. But now, they're aligning with his heir, a clear sign that the old guard is recalibrating toward the future, not the past. Insiders describe this as the beginning of a new royal faction, one centered around William and Catherine, but bolstered by Anne's credibility and Edward's loyalty. This isn't just a family disagreement anymore. It's a reorganization of power inside the palace itself. And as Camilla watches her support collapse around her, another figure in the palace is stepping into the spotlight with a kind of quiet power no one can ignore. Catherine's quiet power. The calm behind the chaos. While the palace trembled and headlines exploded, Catherine, Princess of Wales, stayed silent. But make no mistake, she was never in the background. Insiders close to the family say that Prince William never makes major moves without her quiet nod. And this time was no different. She didn't storm into meetings. She didn't raise her voice. Instead, she remained steady, the calm in the middle of a growing royal storm. One senior royal aide revealed, Kate didn't push him, but she didn't stop him either. And that silence, it spoke volumes. For years, Catherine has lived with the ghost of Diana lingering in every comparison. Her grace, me too, her compassion, her connection to the public. But now, she's not just being compared to Diana. She's being recognized as the monarchy's future. The media, once split in their coverage of her, now calls her the crown's greatest strength. Her loyalty to Diana's memory is quiet, but deep. She understands exactly how the past still shapes the present. According to one courtier, Kate knows the monarchy's survival depends on integrity. That's what Diana stood for. That's what she stands for now. Since 2022, Catherine's public image has transformed, not just as a royal wife or mother, but as a leader in her own right. Her influence has grown so steadily that even Buckingham Palace staff now refer to her as the stabilizer, the one who balances emotion with duty. And in Camilla's slow collapse, Catherine hasn't gloated. She hasn't moved against her. But her quiet presence, her perfect poise, and her unwavering support of William has made Camilla's position look shaky by comparison. But this growing divide isn't just between queens. The real pressure now sits on one man, a king torn between his heart and the future of the crown. King Charles, cornered, a monarch without options. No matter how hard he tries to keep the peace, King Charles III is now stuck between two impossible choices: defend his wife or risk alienating his heir. And for a man who waited 70 years to wear the crown, the timing couldn't be worse. Since William made his bold move, sources inside the palace say Charles has been visibly distressed. One longtime aide shared, he didn't see it coming. And worse, he doesn't know how to stop it. His private approval ratings have reportedly slipped in recent polling, especially among younger Britons, who overwhelmingly support William and Catherine. The public mood has shifted. William is seen as strong and decisive. Charles is now viewed as conflicted and hesitant. Behind the scenes, the atmosphere is tense. Charles and Camilla have reportedly had multiple heated discussions since the title stripping. But insiders say the real fear isn't just about Camilla losing power. It's about Charles losing control of his reign. If he defends Camilla too strongly, he risks isolating William, Anne, Edward, and most devastatingly, the public. But if he stays silent, he risks losing Camilla emotionally, maybe even publicly. One palace source described the king's current mood as haunted. He's watching his monarchy be reshaped, and he's not the one doing it. And this isn't just personal, it's constitutional. Because for the first time, the power of the throne is being openly challenged, not by politicians or protesters, but by Charles's own family. The man who waited a lifetime to be king now finds himself caught in the middle of a storm he can't control. And it all traces back to the memory of a woman who never wore the crown, but still rules the public heart. Coming up next, the ghost of Diana, a force still guiding the crown. The ghost of Diana, a force still guiding the crown. Though she's been gone since August 31st, 1997, Princess Diana has never felt more present. Her name, her pain, and her truth are now echoing through the very palace walls that once tried to contain her. And with Prince William's bold decision to strip Queen Camilla of her titles, many believe Diana's voice is finally being heard from beyond the grave. Across social media, television, and royal forums, clips from Diana's now iconic 1995 Panorama interview have resurfaced. Her words, "There were 3 of us in this marriage," are once again haunting the monarchy. For many, it's no longer just a famous quote. It's a warning that was ignored. Insiders close to William say reading those long-hidden letters from his mother changed him, not out of revenge, but out of loyalty. "He felt her pain all over again," said one confidant, and in that moment, he knew it wasn't just about Camilla. It was about closure, justice. The public, too, is looking at Diana through a new lens. What once was labeled drama is now seen as prophecy. Her interviews, her fears, and even her quiet dignity during her separation are being re-examined and respected. And while Camilla's reputation fractures under renewed scrutiny, Diana's legacy only grows stronger. It's as if her spirit is shaping this new royal era. Not officially, not through titles, but through influence, deep, emotional, unstoppable. But that growing influence has now collided with a centuries-old system. And with William's move, a dangerous question has been raised. Can a future king rewrite royal rules? Because if he can, the monarchy may be heading straight into a legal firestorm. The public reacts. A nation takes sides. The moment word got out that Prince William had stripped Queen Camilla of her ceremonial titles, the internet didn't just react, it erupted. What started as quiet whispers inside the palace became a full-blown digital storm. Within hours, hashtags like #JusticeForDiana, #CamillaOut, and #FutureKingWilliam were everywhere, from X to TikTok, Instagram, and international forums. Royal watchers, media outlets, and even casual observers couldn't look away. It wasn't just news anymore, it was a turning point. A viral TikTok set to a soft piano version of Candle in the Wind, featuring clips of Princess Diana and her most vulnerable interviews, racked up over 5 million views in just a day and a half. Underneath it, the top comment simply read, "Diana would be proud today." Another that quickly gained traction said, "This isn't cruelty. It's long overdue accountability." Talk shows across the UK, from Good Morning Britain to late-night panel debates, lit up with opinion pieces. Legal experts questioned the constitutional implications. Royal commentators dissected the symbolism. And emotional callers from across the country dialed in to share how much Diana's memory still means to them, even after all these years. By the end of the weekend, a fresh YouGov poll revealed a major shift. 62% of respondents under 40 supported William's decision. Among older generations, the numbers were tighter. Some still defended Camilla as a woman who stayed quiet, dignified, and loyal for decades. But even there, support was slipping. And among younger Brits, the future of the monarchy's public, the tide had clearly turned. For a long time, Camilla had been tolerated. Some had even grown to respect her. She was seen as the woman who waited in silence, who never asked for sympathy, and who carried out her duties with minimal fuss. But once those letters from Diana came to light, once Princess Anne's support for William was made clear, and once King Charles stayed silent, everything changed. Camilla's past wasn't just a chapter in the royal family's history anymore. It became the story again. Headlines across British and international media grew sharper by the hour. The Queen uncrowned. A crown divided. William's revenge or royal reform? The palace, usually so tightly guarded, couldn't contain the noise. Even global outlets in the US, Australia, and Canada picked up the story. Commentators on both sides of the Atlantic were asking the same question. Who really holds the moral authority now? King Charles or his son? Outside Buckingham Palace, quiet crowds began to gather. Not in protest, but in curiosity. Some brought flowers. Others brought old photographs of Diana. One note taped to the gate read, "This was never her crown to wear." And across cafes, schools, and social media feeds, the conversation kept coming back to one truth. Prince William had made a move no one expected, and the public was standing behind him. This isn't just about a title. This is about trust, and who the people believe should shape the monarchy's next chapter. And right now, that trust isn't with Charles. It's not even with the crown. It's with William and Catherine, the couple seen as modern, grounded, and unafraid to draw the line. But public opinion is only half the story. Because while the world reacts, Camilla is still inside those palace walls, watching, waiting, and possibly preparing for her next move. Because this storm isn't fading, it's only getting louder. And that brings us to the final unshakable question. Is this the quiet downfall of Queen Camilla, or just the beginning of something much bigger? The endgame begins. Is this the fall of Camilla's reign? Inside the palace, Camilla's future has never looked more uncertain. With her titles stripped, her support base fading, and the public mood turning cold, rumors are spreading like wildfire. Is Camilla preparing to walk away quietly, or is she about to fight back? Sources say she's considering stepping back from public life, citing health and emotional strain. Others claim she's preparing to leak her side of the story through carefully chosen media allies. A senior royal insider hinted she won't go down without telling her version, and that may include exposing things no one's ready to hear. But the real weight now falls on King Charles. If he defends her publicly, he risks deepening the divide with William, Anne, and Edward, not to mention the public, who are rallying behind Catherine like never before. If he stays silent, he risks losing Camilla altogether. And then there is William. Some say this isn't the end, it's just the beginning. A former palace advisor revealed that private talks have already begun about a possible early transition of power. Whispers of abdication, once unthinkable, are now floating in parliamentary corridors and royal circles. This isn't just about Camilla anymore, the source explained. It's about the crown's survival. And William, he's starting to look like the monarch the country already trusts. The next generation, George, Charlotte, and Louis, are watching all of this unfold in real time. They are being raised in a monarchy that's changing right before their eyes. The choices made in the coming weeks could define their roles, their futures, and their understanding of duty. So, is this the quiet fall of Queen Camilla? Or is it the opening chapter of a deeper battle behind palace doors? One thing's certain. History has been set in motion, and the monarchy may never look the same again. Camilla's royal role is hanging by a thread, and William's move may be just the beginning. As the palace scrambles and loyalties shift, one truth is rising fast. The past isn't buried, and Diana's voice still echoes. This isn't just history repeating. It's the royal reckoning we never expected.